cool new gadgets as well, like anti-gravity grenades, seeker bots, deployable cover and drones, and the campaign has some neat enemies. Instead of the typical soldier who pops out of cover every few seconds, Infinite Warfare gives us like robots with shields, guns, and their behavior is unlike regular soldiers. Even when cut in half, they'll claw around trying to get to you, self-destruct. What makes the campaign unique is its focus on 3 types of missions: standard boots on the ground, zero-G and space battles with the Jackal. Oftentimes you'll have a combination of the 3 in a single level, and the transition is seamless. You'll be pumping dudes full of energy bolts, next moment you hop in a Jackal and fly to space to assault the main carrier. Beyond that, Infinite Warfare takes notes from BO2 by giving players side missions they can tackle in any order. Throughout the single player, I felt like I had way more agency over the game than I had in previous titles. Not to mention you can customize loadouts as you unlock new perks, attachments, and weapons. Now, space battles are a big highlight.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Nowhere in COD's history has a game ever committed so hard to something that wasn't traditional. Thankfully, you aren't stuck flying in one direction or on a set path. I can't tell if it's sad or amazing that that's one of the biggest innovations. The Jackal controls pretty well, though it's not realistic. Dogfighting is intense, man.
Enemy fighters coming at you, Fox! You've got an enemy on your tail! Do a barrel roll! Let me get a piece of that action, Fox!
Taking out the giant ships is satisfying. Here's the problem. The flight mechanics aren't deep enough to warrant being 1/3 of the game. This ain't no Battlefront 2 space battles or Battlefield flight controls. Sometimes these sections are so disorienting, it's just a mess of colors, pixels, and gunfire. And then you got the standard boots on the ground type missions, which ain't half bad. And then there's zero-G levels. You can control your verticality, float up and down at will, grapple onto asteroids, ships, or even enemies. I absolutely adore these sections, but there is some wasted potential. While Infinite Warfare takes a different approach to the types of levels, the campaign unfortunately squanders its true potential, because the level design is still adhering to the linear COD formula. Operation Phoenix is a perfect idea. They put you in this wide open zero-G area, asteroids all around, but then they're like, okay, now follow this NPC. What is this, Assassin's Creed? Come on, man, why not put a bunch of soldiers and ships patrolling all over, let me clear them out or make my way to the ship on my own? Doesn't that sound familiar? There are quite a few kick-ass missions, none better than Dark Quarry, where the game takes on a more horror-esque atmosphere. And I gotta say, it works pretty well, investigating this desolate space station, letting the atmosphere creep into the room. I want to see more of this. Despite how much the promotional material emphasized advanced movement, it is laughable, like an afterthought. Wall running is used maybe 2 to 3 times in the entire campaign. So why is it even here? I didn't expect Infinite Warfare to be as free-flowing as Titanfall, but good lord, you can play this like any other COD in the boots-on-the-ground missions. I said it with Advanced Warfare, I'll say it here. The setting is futuristic, the level design is not. The levels are extremely aggravating. Often you'll have like 3 minutes of combat immediately followed by waiting in an elevator, waiting for a door to open, pressing X to open a door, or waiting for an NPC to unfuck their programming and get on with it. In essence, Infinite Warfare is decent fun, but its stubborn adherence to linearity brings it down. I will say Infinity Ward nailed it with the set pieces at least.
Surprise, motherfucker!
The ship falls into the water and it's like big-ass yacht crashes on shore. On boarding missions, sometimes you can shoot the glass out and watch everyone fly out into space. Which brings me to surprise number 2. Infinite Warfare has some of the best transitions I've ever seen. You think that's silly, but check out how smooth it goes from gameplay to cutscene.
I carried the brain of a human farmer.
Holy shit, are you serious?
No, man, not at all.
You got you, Lieutenant.
Did not.
Normally I wouldn't bother discussing a small detail like this, but I honestly can't think of any other COD that does this. Simply go like this. Choose what you want to do on this dope map screen, maybe read up on Blue your astronomy test, customize a loadout from Griff, hop into your Jackal, get briefed on the objective, and then fly your ass out. Some may call this tedious, but
Me, I call them treasures.
I think it's immersive. You really feel like you're gearing up for an epic battle. More than any other COD game, this one shows the inner workings of the military. Space battle missions don't just end. You have to land your Jackal, got this cool little robot that braces the impact. If you run out of missiles, another robot flies in and attaches them onto your ship. The Retribution is your hub world, and you can watch news segments just like StarCraft 2, except without the charm and wit. Check video and audio recordings, which are written really well, and give backstory on Reyes and the other characters. There's also this board of targets. It seems cool until you beat the game and realize maybe 3 of them have dialogue. So the gameplay is pretty good. The story starts out strong, introducing all the characters. We get witty banter between them, motivations, establishing shots, showing off the cool locations. The stage is set for a kick-ass adventure. Until the second act starts. There's 7 main and 9 optional missions, so it's a 4-hour story stretched to 8. The optional missions are busy work. I mean, sure, we're attacking the SDF, but if you skip these levels, you're not missing out on anything. That's a problem, especially since the pacing gets totally fucked if you play them. Unlike Black Ops 2, which did the same, except it told 2 different stories in 2 time periods. This is one of the very rare games I've played where the characters are awesome and likable, but the plot sucks ass. With bad or mediocre stories, most times it's the other way around. An interesting plot is ruined by boring characters. Call of Duty protagonists are usually hit or miss. BO3 had some cookie-cutter crap, Ghosts went for the silent protagonist, that didn't work. But one thing has remained common, and it's the fresh-off-the-boat main character, who's new to everything and paves the way for endless exposition. But not here. Nick Reyes is a seasoned veteran, the highest-ranking playable character in the series. He's confident, poised, motivated, and familiar with war. Playing as him, you feel like a leader, and everyone looks up to you. Supporting you are various minor characters that inhabit the ship: Gator, the navigator; Omar, a staff sergeant with attitude; Kashima, a light-hearted soldier who accompanies you on missions, and so on. They might not be the deepest characters, but they make it feel like a real military operation, and you learn to care about them.
Speaking of which, your XO, is she, available?
You know what? I think she is.
That's good to know.
Unfortunately, our main villain, Admiral Koch, has no motivation to speak of. He's presented in the most cliche ways possible. Obligatory scene of him taunting you over video. Gee, haven't seen that before. It's not the performance, it's the writing. The story is essentially, here are all these people with lives and personality, watch them get killed off one at a time. For every death, the pressure on Reyes to be a great leader gets stronger.
Captain's duty is to get his men home alive, Staff Sergeant.
Always, Lieutenant. Always.
Now let's skip to the third act, which has Reyes and crew attempting to destroy the SDF orbital shipyard. They commandeer the Olympus Mons, take care of Koch, and Reyes needs to make sure everyone gets home safe. Along the way, many lives are lost. Sergeant Omar, Kashima, and Ethan, who heroically self-destructs in a manner Vegeta would be proud of.
Good luck, Reyes. It's been an honor, sir. Honor was all mine, Middle One.
Not gonna lie, I got a little emotional there. When it comes down to it, Reyes infiltrates the space station and knows there isn't a way out. It's the cycle of service and sacrifice, and even Reyes has to take one for the team. His last scene ends on a somber note, with the lieutenant drifting in space. His mission successful. The final shot shows Salter paying respects to the memorial we saw at the beginning. As it zooms in, we see the names of personnel who served us on the Retribution. We won't be forgotten. The end credits are bittersweet as you listen to audio logs left by your fallen comrades. Is this emotion I'm feeling? While Infinite Warfare's burden of leadership theme lacks all subtlety, I really did come out of the campaign with appreciation. It feels like there was passion behind telling this story. Some of the death scenes are so predictable it's funny.
It's good to be in a fight with you, sir.
12 seconds later.
Get her!
But it's a classic war story juxtaposed by the unorthodox setting. Warning, playing Infinite Warfare's multiplayer or watching gameplay can have severe side effects, including headache, nausea, dizziness, insomnia, increased weight, loss of appetite, anger, depression, abdominal pain, heart failure, exploding diarrhea, shrunken balls syndrome, and hair loss. Don't bother asking your doctor if Infinite Warfare is right for you, it's not. What is there to say about this multiplayer that hasn't already been said about your mom?
My mother? No!
As a longtime vet of the series, I can say creating a class has never felt more off-putting in any game before or since Infinite Warfare. I don't even know where to start. It's like sorting through a dumpster to find the smelliest piece of trash. Create a class is overloaded with mechanics. It's a pick 10 system, which you'd think would be good enough, but then you got gun perks and a combat rig with extra perks called traits. You got this payload super weapon in addition to managing salvage and literally hundreds of different prototype weapons with all unique base traits that you have to try and memorize. What is this, an MMORPG? It's like a science project gone awry. Whatever happened to that beautiful simplicity? The COD series has had a long streak with horrible monetization schemes, always greedy, always unnecessary, and intrusive. But this is the grand motherlode of terrible loot box systems. For these reviews, learning the customization can be fun or a chore, but I've never had to do it with 300 goddamn weapons. Gamble for in-game advantage using real money. Log in daily to create a pattern of addiction. Buy our DLC model that hasn't changed in the last 6 years. The loot boxes have so many issues. In a good game, like Modern Warfare 2, the advantages higher level players get come in the form of attachments, perks, and an expanding arsenal all earned through gameplay. You might get lasered from an ACR and think, man, I can't wait to unlock that. In a bad game, the devs say, fuck you, pay us for an advantage.
Give me money. Money me. Money now.
You get killed by a prototype gun and think, there's no way in hell I'm going to grind for that. This system actively discourages new players. It is indefensible.
You've earned enough resources for a supply drop.
Oh my fucking god!
Creating a class in this series has always been fun, even if the gameplay for some entries was lacking, but Infinite Warfare, hands down, has the worst customization in the franchise. But hey, it's still fun to shoot things, right?
Wrong!
I despise the weapon designs, sound effects are crap, snipers have the handling of an SMG, ADS time is non-existent, the latency, lag, and hit detection is out of this world. The lag is in every match. Maybe it wasn't like this at launch, but it basically makes the multiplayer unplayable. Some weapons are kinda cool, but the majority are carbon copies of everything we've seen before. Oh, cool, an AK-47 with energy bolts. This is the future. But wait, it gets worse. Movement. Such a simple concept, yet fundamental part of every video game. Whether you're sprinting with supersonic speed or fat rolling, how a game handles movement is always important. So when you hear the term advanced movement, you think, oh, This is meant to give me more freedom and opportunities in an FPS setting. The appeal is, you can get creative with this. You won't be stuck to whatever lanes and paths the developers create. And that's what you get in Titanfall 2, where every level feels like a playground. And for what it's worth, Black Ops 3 wasn't terrible. Advanced movement, while in a primitive state for COD, had a gimmicky appeal. I guess the concept was still fresh at the time, but if you're gonna make a new game with the same movement, you'd expect it to be way more useful, refined, and tuned in line with the map design. You'd expect people to say,
"Wow, I haven't seen COD change so much since Modern Warfare."
but would you look at that? It's the exact same thing. You know, even if you hated Halo 5's movement, at least 343 created their maps to accommodate those abilities. By adhering to the monotonous 3-lane design that has poisoned the Call of Duty formula, Infinity Ward simplified movement by forcing players to, you guessed it, go left, middle, or right. The maps are littered with so many kill barriers and invisible walls, a mime would have a mental breakdown trying to play this. Every match is both teams jumping around and flying all over the place in a chaotic mess. And the very second you try to get creative, bad for racism. Let's check out some of these maps, shall we? Can I jump up here? No. There's a ladder. Can I jump up? No. Of course not. Let's try wall running over here. All right. So far, so good. Nope. Don't want to go down. Nope. Okay. That didn't work. All right. Can I go up here? Hell no. Well, why does it look like I can? Jump on the building. Come on. Get up there. No, don't wall run. Get up there. Ugh. How about this catwalk? Can't possibly have an invisible barrier there. You son of a bitch. What about over here? No, of course not. Of course that's a kill barrier. You can't even jump on the ledge, dude. What? Fucking hate this piece of... All right, let's try jumping up. Oh, okay. Yeah, that kills you. Great. This was play tested. All right, finally I found something I can wall run on. No! You gotta be shitting me! How did they fuck this up so bad? What, this area? Why is there a kill barrier here? Why didn't you cover this up? I can't even jump over this? Are you serious? All right, this giant truck looks promising. I can't jump on the truck? I don't care if I can't get up there. Fuck you, game. I don't give a shit. Get me the fuck up there. Ah! No wall running here, no wall running there. Go this way, you die. Go that way, you die. Can't jump on this, can't jump on that. Not this, not that, not here, not there, not anywhere. No, don't, stop, can't go. Fuck you, fuck you. Buy the season's pass. Now that I've calmed down, the reason people didn't like the futuristic setting is because Call of Duty never actually embraced these new mechanics beyond a surface level. You could make minimal changes, pop these maps into any other COD game without enhanced movement, and it'd be no different. This is what boggles my brain. Look at this dope moon warthog. Why is this not in a level or mode on the surface of the moon where we can drive it around? Why are there no space battles? Where are the zero-G areas? I mean, I'm in disbelief. How could Infinity Ward commit so hard to a futuristic sci-fi aesthetic, yet be so terrified to embrace it? Infinite Warfare was afraid of its own shadow. The bottom line, these maps were not designed for the movement that they gave you, and that's why the multiplayer is trash. One last stop on the Infinite Warfare train. When we all heard that Infinity Ward was going to make yet another zombies mode, I had some terrible flashbacks. As a studio, they'd struggled in the past to make a side mode as interesting, fun, and replayable as Treyarch. But let me tell you folks, Infinite Warfare Zombies is some straight fire. Spaceland is one of, if not the most detailed, stylish, and interactive environments in COD Zombies history. I'm like a kid at a carnival in this place. There's so much to do, tons of areas to explore. The whole level is filled with mini-games, arcade machines. You can play for tickets, which you can then redeem for prizes. A freaking trap forces the zombies to dance like it's Thriller. Doesn't get more creative than that. Grab tokens, pick up items off the ground, hold up to 5 perks, get unique equipment like sprinkle pops, a boom box. Arcade games and classic Atari games all over the place. Teleporters, Pack-a-Punch. This is amazing. I love it. It's the game within a game. Seeing how good you can get at some of these arcade machines. There's even a roller coaster ride you can hop into and take a breather from the endless undead. I can't stress how incredible the art direction and detail is. This is everything a zombies map should strive to be. It's not too complicated either. While I really enjoy the mode, I have a couple concerns. One being that this was the 5th COD in a row to have zombies or some kind of survival mode. Also, I don't exactly understand the setting. I mean, this is supposed to be Infinite Warfare. Why are we using futuristic guns in the 1980s? Despite these minor nitpicks, the allure of taking a break from editing and popping this bad boy in is too strong to resist. So hold up, I'm going to be right back with the conclusion. At the end of the day, I know I'm shouting into the void about Infinite Warfare, but I think it's important to revisit older games and analyze their impact on the series. This game was ravaged by the fans, yet I feel like many people hated this game for the wrong reasons. But it's not our fault that we didn't embrace the setting, because it wasn't sold to us. Yet I don't think the setting and campaign deserved the backlash it got. The multiplayer did, but the style and aesthetic is awesome. Unfortunately, the main attraction, multiplayer, is a pay-to-win dumpster fire with some of the worst map design ever seen in AAA gaming. The multiplayer isn't just bad, it's offensive. The single player has its moments, and for what it's worth is very unique. It's a relief to know there is a decent futuristic COD campaign out there. Zombies, while a great rendition, is out of place in an Infinity Ward game, and I can't give it too much credit because, again, just the one map, even if it is a damn good one. It's safe to say that Infinite Warfare didn't live up to either Infinity Ward's or the fan base's expectations. The developers tried to convince people that this is it. This is the new direction. But all we really saw was a carbon copy of Black Ops 3 and everything Treyarch implemented. 4 years later, what remains is nothing more than a curiosity, a warning to those who would stray from the path of light, turn away from their past, and tread into the realm of shadow. And that is why Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was so awesome and bad. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to sign up for private internet access by using the link on screen and in the description. Protect yourself for less than $3 a month and get 3 months free. Alright everyone, that's all.
What does it feel like to customize your car insurance with Liberty Mutual so you only pay for what you need? Just like this.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get away with our best deals of the season at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new cars arriving daily, it's the perfect time to get a Hyundai. Sign in, drive today on select vehicles with zero due-it signing, zero down payment, and zero security deposit during the final days of the Getaway Sales Event.
What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today we're going to be looking at Black Ops Crash Wars again. Oh my god, it didn't crash on me. Black Ops Cold War didn't crash on me. It's a miracle. It's a freaking miracle. That's right, folks. Crash Ops Cold Sore came out 3 whole months ago. So now that we're 9 months away from the next game, Black Ops Mall Cops, I thought it would be the perfect time to check in on my old buddy Cold War. Is he still on life support? Am I assuming his gender? Did I just do that again? What new content has been added, and is it worthwhile? But before we jump into it, this video is sponsored by Dragon City. Build your city, feed your dragons, conquer the world! Dragon, grab your exclusive reward on me. Thanks again to Dragon City for sponsoring this video. Cold War was pretty polarizing in several ways. Now, many people pointed out that my review was a lot more positive than the title led you to believe. And that's true. But as a gaming critic with 170 IQ, I couldn't honestly give you a full recommendation of the game just because of how technically flawed it was. The crashing alone made me want to shove a cactus down my urethra. Obviously, my experience wasn't the same as everyone else's, but that's how it was for me. I mean, literally, Cold War would crash so often, it became predictable. Every other match, you know, not just every other match, but I would get 3/4 of the way through the second match and it would crash. Almost always 3/4 of the way through the match. And that means hard reset my console, resync my controller, boot up the game, and play one more match, and then start the process all over again. After that happens for the 35th time, I'm not going to be in a good mood. But in a shocking twist, since posting my review, I've played a handful of matches, not a single crash. Now, apparently, lots of other gamers were having similar problems on the Series X, but thank God it's fixed, man. So, biggest problem. No longer an issue for me. That's good, we're on a good track. But what about those eye-bleeding cutscenes that destroyed your immersion in the story? Well, guess what? They've been fixed too. I checked out a few missions, and while the frame rate is kind of choppy, it is way better than the garbage I saw when I first played this. It truly is bizarre that a COD game with such a huge budget could have two of the most ridiculous, obnoxious technical problems imaginable. But wow, Actman, your two biggest problems have been fixed. Is it an awesome game now? Let's find out. So I recorded this before the new Zombies map came out. I just got a chance to play it, and hot diggity, folks, Firebase Z is quickly becoming one of my favorite Zombies maps of all time. And what a breath of fresh air to see a totally brand new map. Felt like we were getting nothing but remakes in BO4. Firebase is split into 2 sections, is pretty big, has a fairly complex layout, but rather easy to learn. Along with new enemies, boss monsters, and Easter eggs, this is the type of content Cold War Zombies needed badly. And Treyarch is trying new things. Like every 10 rounds, there's a defense section where you gotta stop hordes of zombies from destroying these generator things. Some sentry turrets pop out to help you. It's like a real defense mode. And the new wonder weapon, the Ray K-84, whoops so much ass. It's like a ray gun mixed with an AK-47 that shoots exploding Beyblades. With Firebase Z, I'm definitely gonna sink some more time into zombies. Somewhat scared to commit to playing Cold War because I knew sooner or later I was going to get ass blasted by Ronald Reagan's skill-based matchmaking system that he introduced in 1984. I still can't believe he introduced that bill, and like clockwork, it took no time at all before I was matched with level 1,000 players. I don't even know how that's possible. While the cutscenes and crashing has been fixed, the skill-based matchmaking system has not. But I think I've figured out a way around it, because I had a lot of really good matches when I played with one friend. I mean, top of the leaderboards, just kicking ass and taking names kind of matches. But anytime I played it solo, it was pretty much a coin toss. I will say the matchmaking feels a bit better, but if you really want the best experience, you're gonna have to find ways to beat the system. Also, apparently you can now stay in lobbies with people instead of getting kicked back to the search. That's awesome. It only happened once, but I'll take it. So once again, in the middle of editing this video, Treyarch has released a few big updates. One of which is ranked playlists? What? League play. Your boy is making predictions on this stuff like Nostradamus right now. This is what I've been talking about and saying for months. Now you're gonna call me a hypocrite for this, but the ranked mode isn't my cup of tea. For one, the sandbox tools, weapons, and all that is limited, and I don't like playing Search and Destroy, Crucify Me, not what I play COD for, but this is a great addition for the people that enjoy it. That being said, it doesn't really fix the skill-based matchmaking in normal multiplayer. Now, I was not surprised at all to find the exact same monetization schemes from Modern Warfare in Cold War. It's like, what did you expect? The COD series is supremely predictable in this regard. Of course, they're not going to launch with this stuff because it's bad press, but give it a month or two, wait for everyone to kind of do other things, and then just launch this battle pass tier system, microtransactions, launch that towards your core audience, and nobody cares. They probably got like 800 analysts working to figure out what the most profitable form of microtransactions are, and shocker, it's the battle pass. They're doing the same tiers, timed seasonal content, I mean literally the exact same system. Thankfully, it seems like none of the weapons in the tiers are timed exclusive, so they're not locking out players from using new guns. I don't think it's all that terrible, but maybe that's just because I'm used to it. You're still going to be grinding out endlessly for these tiers, and that's how they get you to invest in Battle Pass stocks. But what's new? Well, for starters, Cold War has added a bunch of new cosmetics if you care about expressing yourself that way. A couple new weapons, all sorts of blueprints, which is kind of cool that almost every weapon has a variant now, but it's also neat how you can customize vehicles, and oh yeah, I can pop in my Black Ops mixtape as I ride my jet ski. Fuck yeah! Of course, all the operators have different challenges that you can do to unlock new outfits if you're into that, or just cough up some dough. I find it interesting that so many of the operators from Black Ops 4 haven't returned. I mean, you'd think adding Victor Reznov and Alex Mason and all these guys would just be an instant cash grab, but you know, give them a few months, we'll see these characters back. As far as challenges go, Treyarch added daily challenges that you can swap out at will, which is pretty cool. Leveling, you could go up to 5th prestige and level 1000 if you have no life. I respect you either way. Surprisingly enough, they also threw in a few new weapons with the classic China Lake and this Street Sweeper. Also some melee weapons nobody cares about. And I like that they made it a challenge to unlock the shotgun, as opposed to just simply monetizing it or throwing it at the end of the tiers. Like, that's way better than what Modern Warfare's Battle Pass is doing and has done. So, props for that. They also added in a new score streak in the form of the SR-71 from Black Ops 1.
SR-71 online.
So, wow, some pretty sizable chunks of content. But what about the bread and butter? What new modes and maps has Treyarch given us? Not that much, to be honest. I'm getting real tired of the whole launch a game with barely any features and then add them over time type of scheme that they keep running here. They have to know how annoying that is, like on some level. I'd say the biggest improvement is just looking at the difference in playlists right now compared to launch day. Like, wow. I mean, goddamn, it was like a ghost town in Cold War at release. 50,000 playlists used to live here. Now it's just domination and hardpoint. You could even say there's a little something for everyone. Best thing Treyarch has done thus far is simply give you more ways to play. Combined Arms is a great mode, and small changes like being able to search for hardpoint or assault independently are massive in terms of adding replayability and just letting people play the way they want to. And putting Miami into Combined Arms makes it a way better map. I mean, this was the most hated map in Cold War, and now it's actually fun. Besides this, of course, they copy and pasted gunfight from Modern Warfare, you know, the 2v2 arena battle thing, but this time it's just TDM instead of one life elimination rounds. There's also a 3v3 variant, which can be pretty chaotic and fun if you don't mind sweating your nuts off. Interesting enough, Prop Hunt has returned and is just as hilarious as it's ever been. Of course, better to play with friends. They got some specialized playlists. If you want to say play only Raid and Crossroads, you can do that. I tried out the Snipers Only Mosh Pit and had a lot of fun despite being total trash. You can't help but wonder why Cold War doesn't have more party game modes, you know? But we'll talk about that in a little bit. I especially loved Dropkick, a creative new mode that has each team vying for control of a nuclear briefcase briefcase. It's basically Oddball from Halo, except the team holding the briefcase doesn't respawn until they drop it. So it creates this mad dash to the briefcase once your team loses it. I love Dropkick. It's a great creative new mode. You should try it out.
Throughout life's ups and downs, you've always kept your sense of style. Go you. Keep watching to learn more about Vumerity. Relapsing MS won't tell me who to be.
Don't tell me who to be. I'm still me, Vumerity. I'm still me. I'm still me. I'm still me, Vumerity.
Vumerity is a pill for adults with relapsing multiple sclerosis, including clinically isolated syndrome, relapsing remitting disease, and active secondary progressive disease. Vumerity reduces relapses, which is a treatment goal in relapsing MS. Vumerity also slows the development of brain lesions that are shown on MRIs. And Vumerity may delay disability progression. Since Vumerity is a pill, you can take it from the comfort of home or wherever your day takes you. Do not take Vumerity if you are allergic to diroximel fumarate, dimethyl fumarate, or any of the ingredients in Vumerity, or are taking dimethyl fumarate. Vumerity may cause serious side effects, including allergic reactions, PML, a rare potentially fatal brain infection, herpes zoster infections or shingles, including central nervous system infections, other serious infections, decreases in your white blood cell count, and liver problems. Your healthcare provider should check your white blood cell count and liver function before and during treatment. Tell your healthcare provider about any infections or other medical conditions. The most common side effects are flushing and stomach problems.
I'm still me. I'm still me. I'm still me, Vumerity.
So what? Yeah. Yeah, gonna pick them up. Give me okay, let me call you back. Give me 2 minutes to call you back. I was saying, give me a minute to call you back. Okay, got you. $3 times 100.
The answer is 300 United States dollars.
$2 times 100.
The answer is 200 United States dollars.
$2.25 times 100.
The answer is 225 United States dollars.
Quick, 225. $225. 400. For 800. stupid shit. $2.25 times 100.
The answer is 225 United States dollars.
$2.25 a pill. I'm not even entertaining. I ain't making no money. I'm giving to you for $1. No, I'm not doing that. My nigga, I'm not doing that. My nigga, I don't gotta do that. That's why. $2 times 100. 200.
The answer is 200 United States.
Listen, my nigga, I ain't making no money, so you're not gonna be put into the games. Yeah. I'm finna put up my iPhone. I'm not even clicking the other one. $2 a pill, you don't get nowhere. Like that quality. I'm out, buddy. This shit falling to death is. This thing's crazy.